There once was a man named Gold Roger, who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. DrJaceAttorney here, bringing back the Yonkō Table for our One Piece Chronicles extravaganza. And we're finally capping off the Water 7 saga. That's right, folks. This saga has taken us the better part of 5 whole segments to cover. And that's because Water 7 is one of the best arcs in all of One Piece. And dare I say, it is the best arc in all of One Piece. That is not to be argued against. That is the one and true fact here on the Yonkō Table. But anyways, we've basically divvied up all of Water 7 into 5 parts. So check out the remaining 4 parts from before this episode if you want to be caught up to speed as to what we covered on, Water 7, the Puffing Tom, Franky's backstory, Robin's backstory. There's a lot to cover. So you're probably wondering, well, if we covered everything up until Enies Lobby, what is there left to talk about with Water 7? Let me tell you, this is quite possibly one of the biggest post-arc segments in all of One Piece. Dare I say, it is the biggest in all of One Piece. And we'll explain why. I don't know. My fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop might disagree. We'll see. Speaking of which, with me to deep dive this week's episode of the One Piece Chronicles, GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, how are you feeling about Water 7? We're at the finale. Is it the best arc in all of One Piece? Yes, it is. All right, let's move on. Anyways, so... Go on.
It is. I honestly think when it comes down to it, I think again your core central characters are at the forefront here. Everybody gets moments to shine, and it's just epic in scale, and it delivers on the action, and high key delivers on the emotion, and the payoff I think is top tier. I can't. It is the best. I think it's the best.
It leaves you speechless. You know what? That's perfect, because no other arc has left you speechless, has it?
I'm gonna say this. Maybe I need to check out the Paramount War saga. Amazon Lily, Impel Down, all the way to Marineford. Maybe I need to. I've only done that one time through. So, and when I mean one time, I watched it once. So I probably need to watch it again. But yeah, as it stands, Water 7 is top dog.
I'm looking forward to our Paramount War saga rewatch or reread, because maybe it's likely not going to happen, but maybe my opinion might change on what is considered the best arc in all of One Piece. For me right now, from what I recall, and I recall everything from Paramount War and the arcs later on in the New World, I really think Water 7 stands to the best of them. And I'm telling you, this bad boy right here that I'm holding in my hand, volume 45 of One Piece. This is one of the best volumes in all of One Piece. It has one of the best covers in all. Look who's on the cover. Good.
I see it.
Good God. You got Blackbeard, Shanks. You got hold on there. You got Kobe. You got Helmeppo. You got Garb. Ooh.
You can talk about Whitebeard. It's a good cover.
It's great. This is one of the best covers ever. One of the best volumes ever, but I digress. This picks off right after the Going Merry is set ablaze in the previous volume, volume 44. And it was a tearful moment for the Straw Hats. Everyone there was bawling their eyes out because it was their final farewell to the what number shipmate would that have been if you counted the Going Merry?
I mean, if you're not counting Franky, it'd be number 8.
Number 8. Okay, they're 8 crewmen.
Because Franky had not officially joined the crew at that point.
Right. So burning the Mary kind of meant nothing to him. He was like, well, I mean
he was there with them.
Right. He was like, all right, I respect this as a sad moment, but I'm not going to be crying.
Well, no, Franky did. I swear Franky might have cried.
Actually, you know what? Maybe he
because
did. Maybe
remember
he
Franky
he cries
it's a part of
at
his
the
manly. It's his manlyhood.
Right. He cries at the sight of emotion that he sees with other people. Right. That's Franky's shtick.
Franky is if he can be moved, he can be moved. Okay. So
right.
It stands. It's a testament if you can make Franky cry.
Exactly.
Because he's a
crybaby.
He's a big crybaby. It takes a while. He really has to find like value and in the story you tell him. So he felt emotion for the Mary because he's an empath too, I believe.
Right.
I think he feels for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like you need to be in some regard, except for Zoro, if you're gonna join the Straw Hats.
Yes. You need someone like Zoro who is emotional, but rarely shows it. Like rarely shows it.
Just one time, right? One time.
All I can think of is the time
with Mihawk.
Like after Mihawk, that's all that comes to mind for me. But he's got some other emotional bits, not necessarily crying based, but yeah. That's
fair. Speaking of Zoro, these first couple chapters in this post arc scenery or this epilogue, however you want to call it. Actually, let's call it that. The epilogue to Water 7, because that's what this serves as, the epilogue. Zoro, he's down one sword. He lost one of his better swords, in the fight against the captains when they were on the bridge in Eni's lobby. One of the captains came on. They had the rust power, and they disintegrated that blade, and now he's down to 2-sword style. And you're wondering, well, damn, where is he going to get another sword? He has to get another, quality blade for the fights to come. But the guy's just looking at his rusted sword. I forgot which one it was called. I know it was the one that he got from Logtown. One of the ones he got from Logtown. And he's like, well, damn, I need a new sword. This sucks. I don't know what to do.
He needs a new sword.
He needs a new sword. Everyone else is pretty much recuperating. You got the Franky family. Basically, I think they get employed by Galliwa.
Yeah, I was gonna say Iceberg. I think gave him an actual dismantling job.
I think they gave him a job for actually building, because then that's when you get the joke where they're like, man, building is hard. We're better at dismantling things.
Okay. So they're fixing up after Aqua Laguna.
Exactly. Aqua Laguna left all of Water 7 in shambles. This yearly occurrence. So now all the townsfolk have to pitch in and help around. You also got the giants, the 2 giants that came back from Eni's lobby, the ones that were tricked into working for the government. They're here too. They're kind of sticking around for a little bit because they're eventually going to go off to Elbaf, which they tell Usopp, because Usopp, again, he's gotten rid of the masked sniper persona at this point in time. He's done with that. He's back to regular old Usopp, and the giants remind him, they're like, hey, we're gonna leave soon to Elbaf.
If you want to come.
You want to come? Do you want to go along? And remember, this is Usopp's dream. This is what he wants.
Right.
Where he wants to go. But then again, they remind him hey, you also got that Straw Hat boy. What's gonna happen with that? And Usopp's left pondering. We don't know what he says at the time when he's talking to the giants. But we move on to Iceberg and Franky. Iceberg, I don't think we've seen the results of this yet. I could be wrong. Maybe they cover it in like a cover story, but Iceberg is drawing up blueprints to basically craft Water 7 into a ship. He wants to make it into a ship so that this yearly tide that comes in every year does not destroy Water 7.
Mhm.
And it's one of those feats that I feel like, again, it carries on the will that Tom left behind. Tom did the impossible when he had an idea to build a train that could sail on the open sea. Everyone told him that is poppycock, that is impossible, that's not gonna happen, and bam, look at that, the pride of Water 7.
He did it. Yeah, I think it's nice. A lot of One Piece is about carry on legacy. So, although only 2 characters, and one actually, Franky being the more prominent character, are tied to Tom, One Piece just does this thing where it's enough. Our short period with Tom with the flashback was enough to make us, look at Iceberg and what he's doing and be like, that's great. Go ahead, Iceberg. Like, One Piece does that. It's a lot of it is legacy, and we'll continue to see legacies as we go on for sure. But it's nice. It's a nice gesture by
I do
Iceberg.
enjoy that, and we haven't seen that, right? We haven't seen that in a cover story. Iceberg, like,
Don't ask me about cover stories. That is not my
Ooh.
forte. But hey,
Ooh.
they're not important until they're
not important.
They're not important until they're important.
That explains why you skipped Skypiea, right?
No, I never skipped Skypiea.
You skipped Foxy Pirates.
I did.
Oh, okay.
So God forbid if they bring a damn Davy back fight.
That's gonna be
in
the
these
final
upcoming
fight
chapters.
on
I'm gonna
Raptor.
be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. That would be interesting, though.
It would be interesting. It would be very fitting of Oda to do that.
Yes.
Then we transition back to the rest of the Straw Hats. They're all just kind of recuperating from the battle. You got Luffy basically asleep, but he's chowing down food while he's asleep because he doesn't want to miss a meal while he's recovering from his deadly battle against Rob Lucci. So that's absolutely hilarious, very fitting of Luffy. And then there's kind of like, a sigh of relief because there's the whole thing where, once the log pose resets, they're going to go off to the next island. But there's the question of how are they going to get there? Because they don't have a ship. They don't got their money anymore because Aqua Laguna wiped out everything. And then obviously Franky
stole 2 million Barry.
The 200 million. He stole the 200 million. And then also the 100 million they had left over. I think they had lost it. Well, they think they lost it in Aqua Laguna. All of it's gone. But at that point, that's when you get some of the Galley-Law crew members. They come in and they're like, oh, hey, back when you assassinated Iceberg, we thought, your ship was full of pirates loot. So we kind of confiscated it. We took all the money. So here's your money. Here's your money back. And also here's the tangerine groves, which Nami's ecstatic about because tangerines are her whole shtick. She loves the tangerines. So that's going on. And we get, so this part's really interesting because I didn't even know this was a piece of lore that it's probably not significant in the grand scheme of things, but I like it when Oda adds something new that's unique to the story that you never even consider. Franky, of course, busts in, right? He does his whole super dance with I don't know who these people are, Kiwi and
the
whoever.
twins. I just call them the twins.
The twins. And basically he has a proposal for the Straw Hats. He basically tells them that there are these great trees that are made of the sturdiest of wood and everything. And he says the strongest tree in existence is known as the Jewel Tree Atom. And he's always, I think that's cool. I think that's cool.
Just a mouthful. I believe the regular translation, they just call it the Atom Tree.
Oh,
or the treasure tree.
So the the tree that they call it the jewel tree, but the tree's name is still called Adam. From, I'm guessing it's like a biblical reference.
Getting
like
biblical references, yeah. That's
right,
what I felt, yeah.
I imagine this tree's very, very old, very, very sturdy if it's survived this long. And Franky reveals, and this is just, I feel like at this point you may have forgotten that Franky stole 200 million berries from the Straw Hats, and up until now we've had no idea why he stole that money. Like, we don't know what he bought with it. We know he spent it on something, something where he needed to ride the sea train to, but we don't know what he ever spent it on. He reveals now he spent that money to buy wood from the Adam tree because he wants to build his ship of dreams. And he wants the person who he thinks is going to be the king of the pirates, that being Luffy, he wants to build it for them, and he begs them to take his ship of dreams on their voyage. Basically, make it their new ship. What did you think about this scene? Did you when you were watching or reading One Piece, I'm assuming you had a feeling that they were gonna get a new ship, a new iconic ship. It had to be. But do you think this is a worthy successor to the Going Merry? Because I think even Franky says in this scene that it's made of the wood that was used to make the Oro Jackson, which was, Gold Roger's ship.
So yeah, I think the scene works on many levels because, again, just kind of coming full circle. Franky, stole the money, viewed them as nothing but low-rated scum pirates, and then he goes on this, semi-adventure with them and has a complete 180 change of heart. And now he respects them and he values them as people. And again, he values stories. So the fact that, and also too, Franky has never built a ship since the Tom incident with the Battle Frankies. So it says a lot for Franky's character to finally come back to what he was always in love with, which was, being a shipwright, and he's doing it for the Straw Hats. So again, One Piece is romantic. It's very romantic. So
Romance Dawn.
Yes. yes. It's very romantic. So yes, I buy this scene. I buy what Franky's doing. And yes, I was definitely happy when this happened. And the fact that he begged them to just, kind of speaks to who Franky is as a person as well. He's not above, begging, because he sees value with these people, and he sees value in the ship, which was taught to him by Tom. So of course he wants people to take care of his ship and hold that same value, if not more, that he has. So very well done. Very well done.
Very well done. Very beautifully done. I just like the significance of Franky coming full circle to support the Straw Hats, and just knowing that they're going to get a significant upgrade to what they had before. They're going to get a ship this time. It's not a caravel that's not meant to be going out to the open seas and
has one cannon, right?
One cannon. No, they are getting their Pirate King ship. And I just found the concept of it exciting at the time when I was reading it for the first time. But that's not all that happens in this chapter. Damn right. This is all that we've been talking about so far has been just one chapter. They close off this chapter with a significant bomb drop that changes the course, in my opinion, of the entire series. And that's just one thing that changes the course of the entire series, but we'll get to it. Basically, Zoro is getting lost. He basically overhears that the Navy is coming in to where Luffy is currently at right now. So Navy's coming in on the Straw Hats. That's always bad news. So we got to get out of here. And basically the ship that you see that's docked near where Luffy is at is the ship of Vice Admiral Garp. Now, at this time in the series, I think the only time we've ever seen Vice Admiral Garp, we've never seen his face. I'm pretty sure we've never seen his face. We've only seen I don't know what the obsession is. I'm guessing because Garp kind of sounds like Bark. He has this obsession with dogs.
Yes,
I don't know why.
His imagery. He's got the dog stern or whatever that thing is on his ship.
Yes.
And then he wears that dog.
He wears
hood.
that dog hood hat thing, whatever you want to call it. And I think the times that we've seen him, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only times we've seen him have been in cover stories before this.
Yeah, I think so. And it's really brief. I think they drop his name and it shows Kobe and Helmeppo like running around doing things for him, but it was never training. Oh yeah, they were training, but it was like, you knew it was him though, right? Did you know his relationship?
No, at that time, I don't think we knew.
Okay, then I do remember seeing him. I don't know why I remember this, but I feel I do remember, seeing Garp. And even in the anime, I swear, like there would be like some check-ins, kind of like these post arcs, and I swear they checked in with Kobe and Helmeppo, and I think Garp burst in. He's like, "Get back to work" or whatever, something. I swear. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. I'm trying to verify this now, but
well, that's the thing. In the anime, there's probably additional scenes where, because they're a significant ways behind the manga, maybe there were scenes where they shown Garp kind of like smashing in from the ceiling and messing with Helmeppo and Kobe because I don't know, they're just being lazy or laying around or not doing enough work. But yeah, I could be wrong, but this scene works so much more if you never knew what Garp's relationship was, and B, if the last time you saw Garp was in the cover stories. Maybe you saw a panel or two in the manga where they showed Garp like just, I don't know, messing around with the Navy, or maybe as a check-in chapter, you kind of see what this Vice Admiral is doing in this scene, what that captain is doing in that scene. With Garp though, I think he only appeared before in cover stories. But it's interesting because, of course, he comes in, Vice Admiral Garp, and you don't know what his deal is, you don't know what he's gonna do here. He just walks straight in. Well, actually, he kind of barges.
He punches through
the
wall, if I'm not mistaken.
He punches through the wall, and he just decks Luffy square in the face. Luffy is sleeping, mind you, so he has no idea what is going on. The first response he says is "Oh my God, that hurts." And immediately, you as the viewer, even the characters in the scene, they're so confused. They're like, wait, it hurts? How does it hurt? Luffy, that doesn't make any sense. You're made of rubber. What's going on here? And then here we get the reveal of Vice Admiral Garp. He takes off his little dog hat thing, and Luffy exclaims, "Whoa, Grandpa!"
Oh, John!
God. Oh my God. This to me changes everything in One Piece.
Everybody's jaw dropped. Right.
Easily. I dare anyone to tell me they saw this coming. Like, actually, if you look back into chapter 121, you could kind of get a hint that he's related. No. This scene right here, I mean, this changes everything for me in One Piece. Reading it at the time, because now you kind of have an understanding of Luffy's lineage. Luffy has someone that is in the Navy, and he's not just some random petty officer or sergeant of the Navy. He is a vice admiral, and vice admirals are not anything to scoff at.
Well, not only is he a vice admiral, he's known. The whole crew pretty much has heard of Garp. because he's the hero of the Marines.
That's very important. The hero of the Marines. I don't think do we get at this time how he got the moniker hero?
No,
we do not. Okay.
Yeah, no, we do not know. We just know he is known as the hero of the Marines.
Right. And I feel like that's enough in this one scene, because it's obviously revealed later on where it's like, wait, how does someone of this, status and stature only rank vice admiral? And that's a deliberate choice. He is a vice admiral for a specific reason that's revealed much later in the story. But this is someone big, and he's Luffy's grandpa. And then it immediately begs the question, well, who's his father? How is Luffy a pirate? Did Garp raise him? Did he abandon him when he was a kid? What does he think about Shanks? There's so many questions that arise once you learn that, first off, Luffy has a family relative even alive, right? Because at this point, we don't know anything about his relationship to anyone yet.
Well, no, we do. Ace is the only one.
Okay,
Ace
right. Ace,
his
the
brother.
brother.
Correct.
Right. And there's no BS about like them being like adopted brothers at this time. Like, you as a reader are to assume they are blood brothers because they refer to each other as brothers. So right. Okay. So aside from, Ace, we have no idea where these two came from. We don't know who their parents are, how they ended up the way they did. But look at this. Now we have someone that's in the Navy who is referred to as the hero, who has a very high status in the Navy, and it's a big deal. But not only that, this scene is coupled with the character himself, the characters that appear in this scene as well, are nothing of too much significance, but I feel like it's very important for the way Oda structures his stories. So right, Garp punches in. He punches Luffy. Does Garp have a laugh? Does he have a laugh in this?
Ooh, I don't know Garp's laugh. I'm sure he does.
I feel like he does. I don't even know if in the manga they show him laughing. I mean, he's always smiling. He's always smiling.
I don't think it's anything it's not one of those One Piece laughs that you need to remember.
Okay.
I'm sure he does.
Wait, which are the ones you have to remember?
Dumb ones. We'll get to it. Dad or Shishi. You better remember that one. Thriller Bark will have plenty of laughs to make fun of. But yes.
So, right. Shanks. I'm sorry, not Shanks. Garp is in here kind of lecturing Luffy. You have this funny back and forth with them where Luffy's terrified of him, right?
Yes.
Luffy does not want to put up a fight or anything. This guy is just petrified of Garp, and you kind of get some insight into how Garp kind of raised Luffy. He kind of just lets on that he trained Luffy to be a strong Navy man, and Luffy just fires back at it. He's like, I wanted to be a pirate.
I told you I wanted to be a pirate. Essentially, yes.
That's all it is. He's like, I don't want to be a Navy. I didn't want to be a cop. I didn't want to be a cop. I wanted to be a criminal. Essentially what he told him.
And you also learned that Garp blames Shanks for this.
Blames Shanks.
He's like, damn that red hair getting into your head.
And the one time, this is one of the few times Luffy fires back at him, because again, Luffy's very scared of this man. He's very scared of Garp. But once he badmouths Shanks,
can't talk bad about Shanks.
Can't talk bad about Shanks. How dare you talk about Shanks like that? Don't talk shit about Shanks. Right. And then Garp proceeds to beat him. I don't know how the anime portrays it. I'm sure it's like more of a beatdown. It just shows Garp grabbing Luffy and just pummeling him some more.
I mean, I just remembered Luffy kept getting these bumps on his head. Because Garp, and again, everybody's like shocked that he's hurting Luffy, it's a non-dire situation. He's like, geez, what's going on? He's like, nobody, I think he says, nobody can escape the fist of love. And that's why it hurts Luffy, because it's a fist of love.
It's a fist of love. I mean, do we think it's like, in a serious note, do we think it's hockey in any way?
I mean,
like a very, very low form of hockey, because Garp is not like, his fists are not hardening with armament hockey to punch Luffy, but like,
I mean, it could be, but if it is a very loose foreshadow of hockey, nothing more. And again, hockey can explain why he's able to punch Luffy if you want to. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, but with that said, the Nami has hockey too.
Oh, but like, you see, it's
and that's where you got to draw the line.
Well, okay, with the Nami bits, I think Oda even says in his question corners, because people ask him like, how does Usopp and Nami always hurt Luffy whenever in these comedic segments, and he always says it. I think he says that it's out of love. It's like a friendship punch or something, so it has an effect on him. With Garp, like, even though it's played for laughs, you have like Sanji off to the side, like genuinely worried, like, how is this man hurting Luffy? Like he's it's not like, the comedic thing where they get the sharp teeth and they start yelling like Baka or just whatever. Right. I don't know. It's Sanji actually saying, oh my God, like this guy is hurting Luffy. But then but
it's also because they know of Garp's reputation, and Luffy is just over here casually like, Grandpa, that hurt. And then they're also questioning, like, why didn't you ever tell us that your grandpa was Garp, the hero of the Marines? And he's over here just like, well, he's just grandpa to me.
And that pisses off Garp even more. You never told your friends. I mean, it's funny. Garp has this weird abusive love for Luffy that is like, I know he loves Luffy, but my God, it's so violent.
It's tough love. It's tough
love. I mean, yeah, he's like, how dare you use that tone of voice against me? And Luffy's here crying, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And then they both fall asleep in the middle of their back and forth.
That did happen. Oh my God.
And that's when they knew that they're related. They're 100% related. These two are grade A clowns.
Ridiculous.
But it's funny because they both fall asleep, and then Garp wakes up first, and he's like, "Oh, whoa! I fell asleep again," and he's holding Luffy in his hands, who also fell asleep, and that pisses him off even more. He says, "How dare you fall asleep?"
Yes, he's very much. He wants Luffy to give him this respect. There's so many instances in this, this volume, in the next coming episodes, where he's like, "How dare you say goodbye to me so idly? I'm your grandfather."
Oh yes, towards the end when they're about to say, yes, we're parting ways. Yes, 100%. They have these. I mean, this is by far one of the funniest moments, coupled with one of the biggest reveals in One Piece. But again, Oda being masterclass in his in this epilogue right here, Garp continues to drop some important lore. One of the bits that he drops is basically lecturing Luffy on telling him, do you know how important or how much of a threat your red-headed friend is, Luffy? And this is where we get a big reveal of
this is the mention, the first mention of
go ahead,
of the Yonkō.
Ooh, roll credits. It's done.
There it is. There it is. The Yonkō Table. We made it.
We made it, baby. We made it. It only took us, how many chapters was this? It was 432 chapters, baby. Woo.
Jeez Louise.
I love it. But this is the first mention of the Yonkō of the Seas. And it's funny because, we all like to give credit to Oda on thinking like years and years ahead of where his story is going to end up going. And it's funny because I do give Oda that credit, but when Garp is giving this exposition dump on the 4 emperors, the Yonkō, he basically says, you know, these 4 emperors rule the second half of the Grand Line, which is called the New World. Actually, he doesn't call it the New World. That phrase is revealed by another character later. But Garp basically says they rule the second half of the Grand Line. Us as readers are like, the second half of the Grand Line, is that just considered the second half, or does that have a name? We don't know yet. But Garp drops the big bomb saying, you know, the 4 emperors, like, you know, he's considered to be on the same level as Whitebeard, who is also an emperor. I find it funny that as Garp is giving this exposition dump, there's a silhouette of the shadows of the 4 emperors behind him.
Yes.
And clearly you can see Shanks. You know what Shanks looks like. You see Whitebeard. You've seen Whitebeard before in the story. There's Whitebeard. And then the 2 other emperors are rather interesting. You see what you can assume is Charlotte Linlin, aka yes. Big Mom, but it doesn't really look like it. Like, it looks like Oda had the idea of Big Mom in some capacity at this point, but in terms of a final design on what he wanted Big Mom to look like, he hadn't figured it out yet. Because this silhouette of Big Mom, I can tell it's Big Mom, but at the same time, it's like, I can only tell that because I know it's Big Mom. You know, like, there's nothing discerning about it.
It is very early stages.
Right.
And again, he was like, I'm going to set this up for myself, but I will finish it later. So
he's setting the seeds.
Yeah, it's super loose, because if you look at Kaido doesn't look anything like Kaido.
Kaido is the worst offender in this reveal.
Right.
That looks nothing. That silhouette was just a generic evil smirk silhouette. He had no idea if the guy was going to be named Kaido, what he was going to look like at any point. He just said, okay, I know I won 4 emperors. I got 2 of them packed down. The 3rd one, I kind of have an idea of what I want them to look like. And the 4th one, as one would say, goodness gracious, I have no idea what I want to do with them. But we know there's 4. And that's all that matters right now.
Right. That's all that matters. It's they're there off in the distance. We will get to them eventually. But he's like, yeah, your friend Red Hair's out here, you know, doing things, and we don't like it. And stop looking up to him, essentially.
Stop worshiping him. Because, I mean, again, to show how important, because, you know, there's factions in the world of One Piece, you know, that we've come across, like, you know, the admirals, the 7 warlords, goodness, what are some other factions? I can't think of any. We've met the Gorosei. The Gorosei, right. Most of them have been on the Navy side in terms of, like, you know, groups or factions of people. But this is the one, I think, pirate faction that we've gotten, right?
Actually, now that you mention it,
not including the warlords, because, you know, they're considered pirates, but they're on the Navy.
But they're pardoned by the Navy.
Right.
Moving forward from here, they now, I guess, start to lean into the other factions outside the world government and the in the Navy, because yes, we get the Yonkō here. Garp has another piece of information he's about to drop regarding Luffy's father, which is another faction. And then, you know, Sabidi Archipelago, that opens the door too to other pirate factions.
Right.
So,
I mean, that for sure paves the way for, like, all these new age pirates that we're going to learn about and become familiar with.
Right.
Sabidi Archipelago. But Garp basically tells Luffy, you know, these emperors are a big deal because the government and the warlords of the sea were allied against these 4 pirates. If anything were to happen where if the balance of these 3 great powers are ever broken, the world is going to fall apart. That's huge. I mean, you didn't know about this until now in One Piece. You had no idea that there was like a final like Z tier faction of pirates.
The Elite 4.
Ooh, is that what you compared them to initially?
I mean, I'm just comparing it now. Yeah, it's basically their end game.
Their end game.
You want to get to the One Piece, you got to go through them. You know?
Right. And it's funny because I mean, even Robin knows about Shanks, and she's surprised. She's like, Luffy has connections to red hair Shanks? That's where that hat comes from? And it's funny. Like, you think these crewmates know each other, but they never really talk about each other, really.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I don't think Luffy's super open about that. He's talked about it maybe to, I know, Zoro, Nami, and Usopp. And I only know that because he mentioned it when they first met Usopp, how he said, I know you're Yasopp's son.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's the only time I can recall him really bringing that up.
Right.
So it's not like he's withholding information. He's Luffy. It's not important until it's important.
Why do I have to mention it?
Exactly. Literally.
So that's funny. That's simply hilarious that these crewmates that have been sailing the oceans, they in a way barely know each other to some degree. But in the middle of all this, you know, Zoro's finally catching up. He got lost on the way. And there's a comedic scene in this. Zoro got lost in trying to make his way to Luffy and the Straw Hats to warn them about the Navy that was coming. And he needed help to get there. He got 2 characters to help him on his way to find his way to where Luffy and the gang were. I don't remember their names, but these are the 2 shipwrights that Tombstone and the guy with the pointy hair where he kept pressing his hair.
Tilestone and Lulu.
These were the 2 shipwrights that they thought were the people that betrayed Iceberg.
Yes,
remember when
I
they
recall.
went Puffing Tom?
Yes, they're like, it must have been those 2. Yes.
It must have been those 2. And you're thinking like, oh yeah, we're never gonna see them again. In a question corner from Oda, someone asked like, hey, those 2 characters that you know, Lulu and Tilestone mentioned, like, what do they look like? And Oda drew them in the question corner. They're like, oh yeah, this is that person and that person. There you go. You think you're never gonna see them again? Bam, they're the ones that help Zoro, you know, find his way back to the Straw Hats. They had a bunch of bumps on their head, so I imagine Zoro beat the crap out of them a little bit.
Most likely.
Violence is key. But then that's when the interesting part happens. You have Garp basically giving the order for 2 of his crewmates to basically try and stop Zoro. And I think also Luffy, well, actually, no, to try and stop Zoro first. You had this character coming out of nowhere with these I don't know what type of blades those are.
They look like little axes, right? Or little weird looking blades.
Goodness. I mean,
don't get hung up on it.
No.
We have to.
They're
weird. It's weird.
But these blades, he basically fights Zoro just a little bit, you know, nothing too serious. They're just kind of trading blows. And Zoro has no idea what's going on. He thinks that the Navy's here to attack them. Luffy, of course, tries to stop the fight from happening, and he gets whacked straight in the face with a kick from a character we have no idea who they are. We're like, oh damn, this guy actually kicked him. And when Luffy tries to return a blow to this person, he uses shave. Ooh, one of the 6 powers. Interesting. Now, mind you, it's not enough. It's not enough for, you know, to defeat Luffy. Zoro and Luffy are able to immobilize these two characters. And they kind of just settle the fight right then and there. They don't really beat the crap out of each other. And we get the big reveal that the one that was attacking Luffy was none other than
Your boy Kobe.
Boy Kobe. Was it Chore Boy Kobe? What was his introduction?
Cabin Boy, Chore Boy.
I think it was Cabin Boy.
Yeah, I think it's Cabin Boy. Cabin Boy Kobe.
Cabin Boy Kobe. One of the biggest glow ups in all of One Piece history.
No. Probably the biggest glow up in like manga history. Like
you couldn't tell this was him.
Dare I pull up what Kobe used to look like?
You gotta get a pen. Let me see if I can show it here. Right there. You kind of see it. Right there. A little bit. Yep.
Right. A freaking
what is this?
I don't know what to call him, but I don't know. It's bad. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him.
Who is that? This is not the same person.
How does that? I mean, let me not jump too ahead.
How does that become Giga Chad Kobe right here?
I don't know.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Apparently, a training regime can do that to you. It can restructure
your face. Mind you. I mean, One Piece has never said it, but I don't think a year has passed between the time we last saw Kobe. I mean, you can assume because a lot of actually these adventures kind of happen in like a day's span of time.
Right.
But a year has not passed. So this is Kobe. He hit a growth spurt. He's flexing on everybody, and I mean, it's funny too. The glasses are still there. They're just on top of his head.
Oh, wow. I never noticed that. I thought those were goggles.
No, those are the glasses.
Wow. Why does he have them? He doesn't need them.
I think it's just trademark at this point. It's just like,
oh my God.
Hey, he's Kobe, but look, he's still Kobe.
Oh yeah, the glasses.
Yeah, so the glasses never left, which is pretty cool. And again, it's pretty cool because yes, we left Kobe. He had, the dreams of becoming a Marine. I don't think anybody, outside of the cover stories, I don't think anybody was clamoring to be like, yo, where's Kobe?
And this is what I was alluding to earlier. Because also with him is Helmeppo, but no one cares about Helmeppo. They're like, oh, you're here too. Great. I find this extremely, to me, this opened the way for One Piece in which it could go in so many directions. Because it's like you said, the last time we saw these characters, Captain Morgan, right?
Yes.
Captain Morgan,
mm-hmm.
that
it's
arc.
Like what, chapter 2, chapter 3?
Chapter 5 or 10 max? That was ages ago. That was... At this point in the story, it is 2007. The year is 2007 when this, around the time this chapter came out. One Piece, I think, began serialization in 1997, right?
Okay.
That's 10 years.
Right.
And that, again, that's not to say that we haven't had characters, appear in one chapter and then appear 50 chapters later in like a cover story, whatever. That's not the point. You had a character you thought was forgotten about because he's at the beginning of the story. He really didn't serve any purpose. Just, he did what he was supposed to in the first couple chapters of One Piece. And he's making a reappearance in the story with a significant role. For me, as a reader of One Piece, this showed that any single thing that you see in One Piece can have game-changing effects later on in the story. This character can get a glow up. This character can get a power up. This person can be a rival to someone else later on. This is a world. This is not just like you're all right. We're done with Alabasta. We're never gonna see these characters again. Off to Skypiea. Woohoo! Like,
I was gonna
this is
say
the
this is
world.
similar. This is similar to Pokemon, how Ash and crew can run into somebody and never see them
Yes.
again. They are now recently starting to dial back and bring back characters. But
Right.
yes, One Piece. Again, I think it's Oda purposely made you not even think about Kobe to bring
Right.
him here and show him, oh shit. Kobe said he wanted to be a Marine. He's being trained by Garp,
The hero.
the hero, and it is showing. The fruits of his labor are showing. Like if
He
he's
can use one of the 6 powers. That's insane.
right. And again, they just went up against masters of the 6 powers. Look what Kobe accomplished in a short period of time.
Exactly. I mean, you can imagine masters of the 6 powers. They took years to possibly master just one of them, because I think the CP9 characters, they're in their mid to late 20s.
Yes.
Because Oda revealed like in a later question corner like their ages. I always found that interesting because I thought they were roughly the same age as Luffy and the gang. Apparently not. No, they're like 10-ish years older than them.
And Kobe is Luffy's older by a year.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Yes. Luffy 17, Kobe 16.
It's a big feat. It's a big feat. He learned shave. I still don't like that they have to say the name when they do it. Shave and they just move. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's still cool to see. And again, I think people really gloss over what this means for One Piece moving forward. Pay attention to everything that you see. Any character, any power, any lore drop. I mean, you clearly were doing it at this point if you got through Water 7 and Eddie's Lobby and all the arcs previous, but the fact that Kobe reappeared 400 chapters later, this speaks volumes. This for me changed One Piece forever. It did. I'm just saying no other arc did that later on, but I digress. We still got a whole volume to get through. But Helmeppo's here too. No one cares about Helmeppo. He does have a bit of a glow up.
he had a glow up. No, for sure.
Right.
It's a glow up.
He has
There's
like
no doubt about that.
like a visor. He has like a visor thing going on.
Yeah, just this really cool visor looking thing. Yeah.
I don't know why.
And they're called kukri blades.
Okay. All right. Is it? I feel like someone else used these before, at some point in the story. Maybe Buggy or.
I can't recall, but it's cool for Helmeppo because again,
he didn't have anything before, so this is better than nothing.
Well, no, it's just no. He had something before. But when you bring
pistol,
when you bring back Kobe, I'm gonna show you what he had before.
Oh, the 4 kids, the hammer. Yes, whatever the hell that is. Good.
Yeah, whatever that is. When it's announced that Kobe is here, you're like, wow, so cool. And purposefully, Helmeppo's here too, but it's like, as a reader, you probably forgot Helmeppo before you forgot Kobe. So it's like a, meta joke. It's like the characters don't remember Helmeppo and neither do the reader. Because again, he looks completely different than what he did before.
And I mean, even when they remind him, even when he reminds them who he is, he's like, hey, I'm Captain Morgan's son. I'm the no good I'm telling daddy character from that saga or that arc. And they remember and they're like, oh, okay. Like they don't want to see him. I wouldn't want to see him either. Who cares? But they're glad to see Kobe.
Yes, they're genuinely happy to see Kobe, which is cool. Zoro too, Zoro.
Right, we don't get that a lot with Zoro.
Yeah, Zoro acknowledges Kobe, and he's like, "Oh wow, you gotten strong." Yeah, it was a nice moment. Definitely,
it was very, very beautiful. And again, this chapter, it's still going. This is one chapter, mind you. This is chapter. Hang on a sec. It was 428, I think. 432. 432, we get the reveal of the 4 emperors of the sea, We get the second half of the Grand Line reveal a little bit. We get the Helmeppo and Kobe resurfacing again, and the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake in this chapter. We get the review. Well, first Garp says, "Oh yeah, Luffy, I heard you met your father at some point." And everyone's like, "What? I met my dad. When was that? I didn't even know." Luffy doesn't even know he had a dad.
Oh, right. I forgot about this too. I don't remember how. I remember who said this, that he met his dad. Who said
Garp.
that?
Garp is saying.
Garp said it. Garp said it. Okay.
Right,
And Luffy's
saying,
like, "What are you talking about?"
Who? Dad? Well, and then Garp's just picking his nose. He's like, "What? I didn't tell you." He said, your dad said that he sent you off. He saw you off at Logtown." And at that point, your mind is racing like, Logtown? Before the Grand Line with Buggy? Like, is a Buggy his dad? Is it like, it's just like you start thinking about who the hell could it have been? And they all asking, who's Luffy's dad? Logtown? That was some time ago. I don't remember him seeing
a good amount of time ago, right?
And Garp is just, mind you, when he drops the name, Garp is just like kind of like hammering away because he was told to fix the wall that he broke down when he bursted through the wall to see Luffy.
Oh, really?
Yes, he does not care about this information. He's just picking his nose, hammering away at the wall, fixing it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, your dad's name is Monkey D. Dragon, the revolutionary." Dead silence. Everyone loses it. Like everyone in there, including the other Straw Hats, they know who this is. Tell me what other moment in One Piece rivals this. Tell me.
I don't know. It's just
because there's none. There's none.
All right, well, you just talking about their reaction in general, because their reaction is priceless. Because again, first it's Garp, and they're like, "You didn't tell us Garp was your grandfather," and now it's like, Dragon? He's like numero uno on the world government's like wanted list right now. He is like
the most
pirates.
Pirates.
Pirates are like a nuisance to the world government. Dragon is out here purposefully picking a fight with the world government.
Right. And that, I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah. And then what does Luffy say? I never knew my dad. I don't know him.
I mean, even with the reveal of like the name, he's like, Dragon? What? And then, but everyone in the room, the Navy men that are outside of the building that this reveal is being mentioned, everyone loses it. Everyone freaks out. Helmeppo freaks out. Kobe freaks out. The Navy men freak out. Sanji freaks out. Nami freaks out. Everyone knows who this is.
Right, rightfully so. Luffy is the only one head in the clouds. Doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Which is funny because I just find it so interesting that these characters are being somewhat expanded on, because you think that they only are knowledgeable about their immediate surroundings, because that's kind of what it's alluded to in a way. You never really see them talk about outside world events, outside of what they're like, unless something is happening to the Straw Hats directly, they don't talk about anything else outside of that, if that makes sense. Like if they're sailing to another island, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, look, upgrade in our wanted posters. Oh yeah, we're gonna sail off to this next island. I hear it's a winter island. We'll see how that's like." But they never talk about like just other things. You know what I mean? Like something like this. The crew knows about Dragon. Yes. You would think if they just talk, if these crewmates just talk about the world or something.
I mean, they're busy. They're busy.
They're busy. They got other problems to deal with. I just find this really cool because it just shows like everyone has this bank of knowledge that you as a reader don't know about because they're just not talking about it, but they know other things that are going on in this world. So you're led to assume that way before this arc or this reveal even happened, if you mention Monkey D. Dragon to like Sanji, for example, Sanji in Alabasta, if you mention Monkey D. Dragon, he'll be like, oh my God, Monkey D. Dragon? That guy's dangerous. Oh man, you want to stay clear of him. I don't know. I really like it. Some may call it an ass pull. I think it's just the conversation never came up.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's an ass pull. I think, again, that's writing. I think because, you know, no one really questioned, hey, Luffy, how'd you get away from Buggy? Oh, you know, some guy was there and lightning came down. I don't even think Luffy saw Dragon.
Yeah, no one saw.
Only Buggy
Dragon.
saw him.
Did Buggy see him?
Yeah, I think Buggy saw him, right? Oh, I'm sorry, Smoker. It was Smoker.
Okay, Smoker did.
I feel only Smoker saw him because Smoker had Luffy pinned down. Right. I don't think he looked up, but either way, I think it's just story. It's writing. Again, it's not important until it's not. You did not question who that guy was. You learned his name was Dragon, and that was it. And then it turns out, oh shoot, that's Luffy's dad, and he's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. And yes, they didn't talk about it, but what was Luffy gonna say? He didn't know that was Dragon either. You know?
I mean, he never even met him. He doesn't know who that is. Why would he mention it?
Right. So Dragon can come up in conversation. Luffy is probably like, ooh, a dragon. I'm like, no, Luffy, this is a person.
What kind of a name is Dragon? I expect whenever we get, you know, the backstory of Dragon, there's probably something silly about why he's called Dragon.
I mean, that's just their names. You got Luffy, Dragon, and Garp. What the hell kind of names are these?
Well, I mean, it's Monkey. All their names are monkeys. Yeah,
they're all monkey. So
it's just silly. And then of course the silliness to cap it all off was Garp realizing, oops, maybe I shouldn't have said all that because that's not public information. No one knows.
Oh, it's not? Oh, I didn't know it was.
No, it is not. It is not like only, I think, to my not. I mean, because Luffy doesn't know that.
Because Luffy doesn't know. He's stupid. You shouldn't expect him to know anything.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the shock comes from everyone. No one knows. I don't even think no one knows that Garp had children. I'm sorry. No one knew that Dragon had children.
Right. Nobody did know. Right.
So this knowledge, I mean, you're only going to hear this from Garp to confirm this because you're not going to hear it from Dragon. These characters still haven't met yet in the story. Yeah, like Garp just drops it. Everyone's, you know, flabbergasted, and Garp's like, whoops, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And that shows like, yeah, this is not public knowledge. Only a select few people know about this because I think it's kind of the same thing that you get when you learn the relationship of another character with Ace, who his father is, and you learn, okay, that also was not public knowledge for a good reason.
Yeah, that one a good reason, right?
Right, because of A, B, and C. So this one is kind of in the same boat, but you know, it's Monkey D. Dragon. He is considered #1 criminal in the world. So again, bombs dropped in this chapter. I love this chapter. But again, you know, just some genuine moments where you have Luffy kind of reminiscing with Helmeppo and Kobe off like outside. They're happy.
Yes, it's a nice moment.
Right.
Because they're not playing Marines versus pirates.
Exactly.
They're friends.
They're friends, right? And you know, they know at some point their paths are gonna cross where they're gonna be opposing each other, but now's not that time. Let's enjoy each other's company. I like that. And it's cool because, you know, you get some insight into the Navy with like, you know, because Luffy, to their knowledge, the only way to cross into the Grand Line is to go up Reverse Mountain. So he's asking Kobe and them like, hey, how did you guys get into the Grand Line? I didn't even know you guys were in the Grand Line. We left you before in the East Blue. So how'd you get here? And he basically mentions, I think they said like the Navy ships, they're fitted with like sea prism stones or something to where when they're sailing the ocean, it practically makes them invisible.
Right.
So Neptunians or Sea Kings, if they, they don't see a ship like going over the Conch Belt with them. So it's easy for the Navy to do it. They just sail over the Conch Belt, bam, in the Grand Line. Easy. That wasn't so bad.
And the Navy's keeping all the good stuff for themselves.
They got all the good technology, and again, I feel like that's tied to a very specific character when it comes to technology. I think we got a name drop of him already, Vegapunk, right? I think we heard of him once so far.
I don't recall. I want to say no, but I could be wrong. But
either way, I mean, I think this is a Vegapunk thing. This has to be a Vegapunk thing.
He's out there. He's brewing. And again, like, Nami's kind of like eavesdropping on the conversation because she's trying to learn like as much. Actually, no, right here, bam. They said it. When it comes to technology, Dr. Vegapunk is number one. He's amazing. I think that was the first time. I swear that's the first time.
Was it the first time?
I swear, I'm telling you, I don't think it was ever mentioned before, Dr. Vegapunk. That is the first time.
Well, either way, I mean, we know that this man is like the head scientist honcho. Whenever you say, damn, the Navy gets everything, how the hell can they do this? Vegapunk. Bam. There you go. Vegapunk is the reason. We still don't know what this man looks like to this day, but at some point, we'll see.
Right.
And then, okay, this is something interesting, right? This is kind of what I was alluding to in previous episodes of One Piece Chronicles, where we always had questions on how is there a pistol that ate the dog fruit, the Shun model? Like, how does that work? Kobe reveals in this chapter, Dr. Vegapunk is really amazing. He discovered how devil fruits confer their powers and even developed a technology where you can feed a devil fruit to inanimate objects. That right there is practically the exact thing I was saying from before. It's not literally you taking the fruit and sticking it down the barrel of the pistol saying, eat it, eat it. Vegapunk has some insane technology where he can confer the essence of the fruit, whatever gives that fruit the power that it has, he can transfer that into whatever he wants, whether it be a person. Well, I mean, a person just eats it, but if he wants to put it into an object, he has some scientific tool that lets him take it and then put it into that object. So that's how you get Funk Freed, a sword that ate the elephant fruit. The whole pistol scenario, and I know there's other characters too, but that hopefully answers your question, GrandMasterHoop. Does that answer your question?
It didn't have a question. I understood.
I remember you hammering your fist when I would explain this, saying, that doesn't make any sense.
I understood this. Like, it just is stupid in conception. Like, why did they say this gun needs to have the dog fruit? Like, why
It's zany and random.
I get it, but it was like, okay, let's give the sword the elephant fruit. Okay, sure, there's a perfectly capable human right here, but give it to the sword.
That could do some damage. So someone ate the elephant fruit, I would think. Yeah, that could be a zone type someone uses. It's an elephant. It's huge.
Yes. And they said, we'll give it to the sword.
Give it to the sword. Yes.
Some foolishness.
There is foolishness.
It's fine, I guess.
It's fine.
It's zany.
It's zany, as one would say. Nami, I kind of like this small little moment. Again, reaffirming the genuine conversation that they're having. Nami's trying to snoop in on what important information the Navy may have on this. She gets some of that, the Vegapunk reveal, and whatnot. But then, it gets to a point where Luffy and Kobe just start smiling and laughing. They're just kind of talking about their adventures together, or just reminiscing on old memories with Helmeppo. And Nami at that point just kind of smiles and she just walks away. At that point, she's kind of like, you know what? They're having a good time. I think I got what I needed. Just let them have fun. It's nice to see Luffy having fun like that. You don't get that a lot. This is a very nice moment with Nami.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a nice moment. Yes. Oh, for Nami's sake, sure.
Oh yeah, for not because her goal in this was to snoop in because she has a transponder snail that's listening in on the conversation. So she's trying to gain as much Navy information as possible. But once the conversation turns to just them enjoying each other's company, Luffy and Kobe and Helmeppo, she just kind of smirks and she just walks away at that point. She puts down the pen, the pencil, whatever, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go jump in the pool now because they're having fun. I'm just gonna let them have fun. I don't know. I like this scene. It's cool. It's nice. But
it's nice. It's nice. I agree.
But then again, another big reveal. Well, not really a big reveal, but more like a name drop. How do you call it? Kobe basically reveals to Luffy about the second half of the Grand Line. He says this is, the one area of the Grand Line where all the strongest pirates are. It's the other side of the Red Line, and it's a place that we call the New World. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Another name drop. Sit down and don't tell me that this is the best post-credits arc that we've had in any saga.
I am not denying that. So, yeah.
But this is big again, and Kobe reaffirms. He's saying, "Hey, man, let's meet in the New World." And at that point, I promise you, I'm gonna become an admiral in the Navy. Admiral's a big title. Do you think Kobe can make admiral? Do you think he can get there?
Of course. I mean, again,
So like the reason why I ask is like, how like in Naruto, right? You have Konohamaru, and Konohamaru's like, I'm gonna be Hokage. And you're kind of like, no.
I mean, Konohamaru's on his way,
He's on his way, quotations. But compared to Kobe.
I think, we talked about it before as far as kind of just representation of, justice overall, and how the Navy and the Marines kind of, some of them teeter this line between like ulterior motives and, questionable motives, and they warp justice to benefit them. Kobe has been our kind of like de facto, he's a good person, part of the Navy. I mean, we've seen it too. We've seen it with Smoker, and we've seen it, with Garp a bit.
There are good people here.
Correct. There are good people in the Navy. However, Kobe is a reflection of Luffy. They're both, they started their journeys together, and you watch their diverging. So as Luffy grows closer to becoming king of the pirates, I think it's, it would be great writing that Kobe is getting closer to becoming, I guess, a vice admiral first before an admiral.
Right.
But like, it's just cool to watch those factions. So, another character down the line is moving up in the terms of revolutionaries, who was also kind of a mirror of Luffy and a mirror of Ace, actually. So it's nice to see these factions who are all friends, but we know somewhere down the line where they're going to have to come to major blows.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So yes, I do think Kobe's going to get there for sure.
Okay.
And he's eventually going to have to fight Luffy, like all out.
How that fight's going to go down. There's I don't see Kobe putting much of a fight, but
I mean, he's got a ways to go.
He's got a ways to go, and he is moving up. Maybe not at the pace Luffy is going, but he is getting stronger as the story
is getting
progresses.
Stronger for sure.
At that point, the characters kind of just bid their farewells a little bit. They're like, all right, let's meet in the new world. And everyone just wants to throw a party at this point. Sanji cooks up a big feast. The Franky family comes in, Galila. Everyone just has this grand party on Water 7 to celebrate their victory and, you know, saving Robin, saving Mayor Iceberg. Just, you know, everyone's happy. And you get this really interesting conversation in the middle of
real quick before I know where you're going. I just want to point out Usopp is at this party wearing the Soga King mask.
Yo, okay, yes, you're right. He is at this party with the Soga King mask. I think he's like eating some of the food and he's just saying how delicious it is with Chopper and Luffy. And I think it's hilarious that, you know, to enjoy the party. He has not missed a party that the Straw Hats have given.
He's not.
So he's got to be part of this one. So
I just like to say too, in the anime, they are dancing. He's like, let's party. He starts singing the Soge King song.
Oh, does he?
Like, and they're all dancing to it.
Like the full, like, you know, intro and everything?
Yes. And like Franky and them are doing the super.
Oh, man. I need to watch that then.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
That does sound good. Oh, God. But yeah, like, you know, in the middle of all this, you get Robin off to the side. And you get this deep, ominous voice that's off, you know, on the opposite wall from her. And it's just so intense. Like, I don't know. I imagine the fear she had, because the first line of dialogue is, stay right where you are and listen to me, Nico Robin. And it's like, oh my God, it's Aokiji. He's right there.
Just when you thought it, again, she's kind of she's happy, she's celebrating. Just when you think it's over, don't move.
Don't move. she's breathing heavily in this scene, but he's not there to capture her. Right. Again, it's more like a conversation. He wants to know, why didn't you run like you always do? And he basically mentions, like, if you had acted on your own, you probably could have gotten away from CP9. You know, it wasn't that difficult. And again, Robin reiterates, I could not abandon my friends. They're my friends. If I had left CP9, they were going to kill them. And I'm not doing that. I love that. I don't know. That's that to me is like a heart touching moment, because the one response Aokiji has for that is, well, you know, 20 years ago, I did have a very close friend, and that was Jaguar D. Saul.
Yep.
And I don't think we knew they were friends, right? Did we know they were friends?
No,
then?
Not in that moment. I don't think. It was bittersweet to hear that. No, I mean, it's not sweet, but it was like, damn.
It's interesting.
Because you killed him.
I don't think he's dead. I'm just saying.
I mean, we didn't see him shatter his body, so there's that too.
I think he brought him somewhere. I don't know. I've seen
very much could be.
But it's just nice, you know. He mentions that he basically carried on what Jaguar D. Saul had, basically this belief with Robin, that she could someday find people that she would care for, and they would return that favor back to her, so that she could live. And Aokiji was starting to wonder, like, you know, it's been Robin, it's been 20 years. You think you can find someone? I don't know. But to her credit, you know, she had a bounty on her head. Just when she would warm up to someone, they would find out who she really is. They would try turning her into the Navy. So she eventually developed a distrust of people. Naturally so. I imagine 20 years of being backstabbed might do that to you. I'm just saying.
No. And then some, for sure. No doubt there.
And again, he asks, you know, he tells her, I never expected them to defeat CP9. Let me ask you this. Have you finally found a place where you can feel safe? And at that point, Robin's huffing and puffing, because she's afraid of what's, that Aokiji's there. She stops. She stops breathing heavily, and she says, yes, just straight up, yes. I feel safe with them. And I feel like that's important because, again, this is beautiful, okay? This is art. In this moment with Aokiji, she's by herself. Naturally, she's afraid because she's reminded of what it was to be alone and be presented in front of a towering force like Aokiji. But the second he reminds her of the friends that she, gained in this venture, and he asks her, do you feel safe with them? She stops. Her heavy breathing stops, and she says, yes, I do. Oh my God. Come on, Grandmaster. Are you not with me?
I'm with you. It is a beautiful kind of full circle moment for our girl, versus, at the first sight of danger previously, she feared for their lives and she feared for hers. And now she trusts them 100%, and she's sticking by them no matter what.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. Some would say.
You could say it's like poetry.
Aokiji at this point is like, I don't know if I was right or wrong for Saul to let you live, but maybe you can answer that question for me someday. And she says, I intend to. Bam. That's it. And there we go. Aokiji's like, all right, then live out your life and prove to me that Ohara is still alive. Teleports out of there. Gone.
He just walks away. They show him on his bike later. Did they show him on his bike?
They do show him, they show him kind of like teleporting, through ice, I guess, out of there. But then it shows him on his bike, and he's eating some of the food that Sanji made at the from the party.
That's funny.
So that was a great scene. I loved it. And then you get a transition scene, and now things are getting serious. Well, things were serious before this, but now this is big boy leagues. You transition into the sacred land of Marijua, and you have the Gorosei being reported to. They have terrible news because they're saying in the New World, one of the four emperors, red-haired Shanks, has broken through our lines, and they're finally going to make direct contact with Whitebeard, Edward Newgate. And this is big, these are two juggernauts.
I just want to point out, remember, they were trying to prevent this since Jaya.
Oh, prevent them from
meeting, because if you remember correctly, Shanks sent one of his crew members to go,
that's
to Whitebeard,
right.
And Whitebeard said, tell that red-haired boy if he wants to talk, he needs to come here himself.
That was when he was chugging the ale, right? He was drooling with it, and he had all the nurses around him.
Yes.
That was our first reveal of Whitebeard.
Yeah, that's right? The first time we see Whitebeard. Okay. Yeah. Okay, he sent Rockstar. That's his name. Rockstar went.
That's right.
Right. And he's like, no, you tell that boy. How dare he?
How dare.
So he's like, so they've been trying to prevent this for a while. It's happening.
Goodness, my God, that was Jaya.
That was Jaya.
That was 150. It was 100 chapters ago, minimum.
It's a good amount of episodes ago. I'll tell you that.
That's a good amount of episodes. Wow. Oh my God. Finally, Shanks is able to push through and meet up with Edward Newgate. You get some other characters that are revealed on Whitebeard's crew. You get Jozu. I think he's the diamond guy, right?
He is the diamond guy, yes.
Okay. You don't know that yet, but he's powerful.
You finally, I think we finally get, every time we see Marco, it's been some trash version of Marco that's not fully done.
Wait, what do you mean?
the first, and I mean, I don't know about the manga, but the anime, Marco, like the first time you see him, he has like blue hair, and it's like, wait, that's
Really?
not. Yes, it's like really lazy.
Oh,
It's
what?
like
Because maybe they didn't know like
they
what his
didn't.
official colors were.
Well, yeah, that and correct. They didn't know how significant he was first. So
Wow. You know what? Yeah, I can kind of see that because they just have them listed as like division commanders, but like they don't have like they don't do anything, right? Like they're not really like they don't come off as Ace because Ace is also a division commander,
right.
but they just kind of have this one little dialogue thing saying, "Oh, Redhead is coming on the boat. All you newcomers step aside," and you know, there's a
Oh, they're like,
why.
y'all better be careful now. And then
Like,
actually, Shanks does. Do you remember what happens here?
what?
Oh, you
What
can't.
He,
Oh,
what
damn,
he,
you can't see it.
what
But
he
Marco,
does to
this
the
is
newbies?
Marco.
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
no! Wait, does he have purple lips?
yes, right. It's bad. It's bad.
Ew!
It's bad. It's bad.
He
It's
doesn't.
really
Wait, does
bad.
he? He has a shirt on in that.
I know it's bad. All of it's bad.
Wow, I didn't think the anime fumbled like that.
They did. They didn't get it right. I think until here.
Wow. Okay.
It still looks bad.
Actually, wait
but-
a minute. Can you? In my background, can you? Okay, Jozu's right there.
Yeah, that's Jozu.
Is
No,
that?
Marco's
is that,
not.
That's not Marco, right? The guy.
No.
Oh, God,
This is not the.
That's not Marco, right?
No. The time you
Okay.
see Marco here is not. He's looks fine at this point.
Oh, you meant earlier.
Yeah,
when they-
earlier.
Okay, so
earlier.
like Jaya, like when
Yes,
you saw.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's when he looked like ugly Marco. But
Yes.
now.
he looks fine. He looks fine.
Okay, official colors. Got it.
Well, yeah, no, Shanks comes on board, and remember, Whitebeard's and people start falling and collapsing. I don't know if the manga does this, but in the anime, Whitebeard goes, "Look at you, so loosely tossing around your hockey."
He said that in the
Okay.
manga. He said,
There it is. There it is.
I think this is the first mention of hockey.
It is the first mention. Yes, it
the
is.
first mention. So perfect. You got Shank, someone from chapter 1, introducing the concept of hockey. And maybe some things alluded to hockey in the previous story. Like, you know, we sometimes say Eneru and some of the Skypians knew hockey.
It's I mean, they called it mantra. Now we getting the
official term.
this their world, not Skypea. This is
right.
hockey. And then Whitebeard saying you're just throwing it around. That implies that he's a master and he's like, so in control that it speaks to his power. It speaks to his power.
It's tearing like a portion of the ship. Like the wood is splintering on the ship. So this is something as like it doesn't affect just people, I guess. It affects your surroundings. This could affect like, wood or metal or dirt or rock, whatever. I always found this they don't reveal what the name is yet. I mean, because this is Conqueror's hockey at this point.
Correct.
But they don't say that yet. They just call it hockey. It's hockey's overwhelming. It's causing the men on the ship to fall over. And right. Whitebeard says, "Damn, man, you're throwing that around like it's nothing." Okay. And I think this is the first time we get his laugh.
I don't know his laugh.
Oh, you don't know his laugh?
I don't.
Oh, don't you dare. It's good.
I don't know it.
What? That is like one of the more iconic ones. You got the iconic laughs are Whitebeard, Blackbeard, Gecko Moria.
Listen, I don't know it. I don't know what you
No,
want from me.
oh my goodness.
Move on. I don't know it.
No.
Move on. I don't know it.
Carry us into the next scene. What happens next?
Well, it's their discussion.
Right.
And
well, they trade ale. Ace brought some Shanks He brought some
Yes.
ale with him because he knows Whitebeard's a drunkard to a degree. He likes his alcohol.
Right. And they're having a conversation about, well, it's revealed, I'm pretty sure. He's like, I want you to call back Ace and have him stop this mission that he's on. And we always knew Ace has been looking for somebody. We don't know who was Ace looking for. Does Shanks say who Ace was looking for?
Yeah, he does. He tells him it's Blackbeard. I know Ace is hunting Blackbeard, and this is kind of skipping a little bit ahead in their conversation, but he tells them, I want you to call Ace back. You know, stop him from confronting Blackbeard, because something big is gonna happen. You need to stop this guy. He's young, but again, Blackbeard is someone dangerous. And again, you get another reveal. You get the reveal that Shanks did Shanks have the 3 scars over his eyes in chapter 1? Did he have those yet?
Good question. I never thought about it.
I'm not, because I always try to pinpoint when this might have happened, but you know, Shanks reveals to Whitebeard, you know how powerful I am. But the one person that gave me this scar over my eye, these 3 scars, was Blackbeard. And at that point, you're like, damn, Ace's endgame. And this Blackbeard landed this blow on Ace. I'm curious to know.
Shanks.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Shanks. Yeah, Blackbeard landed this blow on Shanks. I don't know why I keep calling him Ace.
Yeah, he had the scars. Yeah, he had the scars.
Okay, so this is something that happened even before chapter 1 of One Piece, which again begs the question, how powerful were these characters at that time? Like was when Luffy was a kid, was Shanks considered Yonko status, or was he still building his name up to that point? Same with Blackbeard. Blackbeard, he may or may not have been a division commander at that point. I don't think he was. Actually, I don't even think, was Blackbeard a division commander? I don't think he was.
Oh, I don't know.
I think he served under someone. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know.
He's on Blackbeard's crew.
He is part of He's one of Blackbeard's sons.
I'm sorry, Whitebeard's son.
Whitebeard, sorry. Blackbeard is one
many.
of Whitebeard's sons. Yes.
But again, you start to realize how old Whitebeard is. He's reminiscing about, Gold Roger, Garp, Sengoku. He's went toe to toe with these characters. He is a pirate from an older age. And you can kind of tell because, he's got some medical equipment even on this chair with him. So it's stuff that he needs assistance with to like just breathe and, function normally. So he's an old man on death's door to a certain degree. And I think, did we know Shanks was from Gold Roger's ship already? We know he was the buggy.
I don't recall. I don't think so. There's a flashback that shows Gold Roger holding or wearing the hat. And that is when you realize Shanks got that hat from him. I honestly think that this might not even happen till Sabati Archipelago, maybe.
What, the hat thing?
Showing the flashback of Rayleigh meeting Goldie Roger.
Okay.
And him wearing the hat. Once you see him in the hat, it makes sense.
Got it. I know at least at this point, it's confirmed Shanks was on Goldie Roger's ship. And then you also get the reveal that, well, if he was on Goldie Roger's ship, then that means Buggy was also on Goldie Roger's ship. And they do show that in a flashback because, Whitebeard saying, yeah, whenever I whenever I fought you guys, I remember your faces. You know, there was a guy with a red nose on there too. Whatever happened to him? He got killed. And
the disrespect for Buggy the
funny.
Clown.
But he basically says, you know, on the day that our captain was executed, we parted ways at Logtown, and we've never met since. I find that very interesting because I don't know, like I never thought of it, but Shanks and Buggy have not seen each other for 22 years in the story.
Yeah,
that's insane. I don't know. I you know, they have that relationship where, you know, Buggy hates him, but Shanks cares for him still. I always thought that they would just cross paths every now and then, like once every few years. No, hasn't seen him. Shanks confirms I've not seen him since. We parted ways at Logtown when Gold Roger was executed.
Eventual reunion in the future.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it for sure. And Whitebeard, of course, asks Shanks, you know, hey buddy, I noticed you're one limb short. What's going on with that? Did Mihawk do that? Like, what's going on there? He tells him, I gave it up for the sake of a new era. Ooh.
Good line. Good line.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But and that's where we get the Blackbeard conversation. He tells him, you know, this arm doesn't hurt. It does not give me any pain. But let me tell you, I fought countless battles and received countless scars, but the only one that aches right now is this one. And he points to his eye that Blackbeard left with scars. I wonder if that's like a metaphorical thing or a literal thing. Does it?
I mean, it's probably metaphorical more so, but it's probably, you know, that's a pretty big wound right there. That speaks to Blackbeard's, I guess, violence, and just he's a formidable foe, and he's really trying to say, Blackbeard did this to me. Get Ace off of the hunt.
And again, I want to know how powerful was Shanks at that time, because from Blackbeard's perspective, if Shanks was just your run-of-the-mill captain, which I doubt he was, Blackbeard's like, I mean, my man, it's Ace. I mean, Ace can handle his own. I'm just saying, he has the flame fruit. I imagine he can handle this Blackbeard. But Ace, I'm sorry, Shanks is very certain to remind Whitebeard that he's saying, no, listen, Whitebeard, this is not just something that happened. Blackbeard just did not all of a sudden leave your crew because he just felt like killing, you know, hit one of his crewmates and he wanted to eat a devil fruit. This man laid low. He joined the Whitebeard pirates for a goal. He joined it, laid low, did his part on the crew, and once an opportunity sprung, the opportunity that he needed and wanted, that's when he made his move. And now he has what he wants. And you sent Ace after him. I'm warning you, my man. Stop your boy from going after him. And it's a warning, right? It's a fair warning because we know what this alludes to. We know where it goes. We know what's at the end of this bread trail.
I mean, we get it at the end of this arc.
We do. And Whitebeard is just not having it. He kind of just reiterates his moral compass. He's basically saying, you know, the one rule I have on my crew is that you do not kill your shipmate because we are like brothers. You are like my sons, and it's law. It's law on my ship. So don't come in here telling me that I have to tell Ace to come back because it ain't happening. Even if I did want to tell Ace to come back, Ace is not coming back until he gets Whitebeard. I'm sorry, until he gets Blackbeard. He's not coming back.
Right. It's interesting because you get pieces of Whitebeard and how he runs his pirate crew. Everybody is his sons. There's a strict code. Ace has to see this through because it was because he was a division commander at the time. Blackbeard is under Ace's division, which is the second division.
Right.
And so
so his division commander was Ace.
And
that's why that's why Ace felt it was his responsibility to go after Blackbeard because it happened under his watch.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that's correct. But yeah, I don't remember when they reveal who Whitebeard killed. He did kill the fourth.
Blackbeard killed?
Sorry, Blackbeard killed the 4th division commander.
Oh, okay, got it. So he killed
Right.
the 4th division commander.
Right,
Okay.
and we'll get into why. But yes, there's a strict code that Whitebeard lives by, and it's very prominent here. It's very cool too, because I mean, now that I think about it, at this point, we don't really see how a pirate crew operates outside of the ones that go straight up against Luffy and crew.
Right.
This is a pirate crew, and this is how they do things. This is one of the old era people who, you know, this dude was up there with Goldie Roger. He was probably number 2 to Goldie Roger.
I think his title at this point is he's the closest man to the One Piece.
And he's the world's strongest, I'm pretty sure.
The world's strongest.
Yeah.
That's a big feat. That's huge.
It is a big feat. So everything Ace is doing is mad disrespectful right now.
What Ace is doing? Or Shanks?
I'm sorry, what Shanks is doing.
Oh man, we're on a roll with these names.
Is mad disrespectful. And I think at this point, I think he whips it out. The scimitar, the giant
Whitebeard finishes off the ale or whatever, the wine that Ace brought. He chucks the jug back at Shanks, and it just, in a disrespectful manner. And at that point, that's when Shanks starts drawing his blade. He starts drawing it, and Whitebeard's like, he's like, eat ass. And he brings out oh my god, it has a name.
It does have a name. I don't know it.
Oh man, what's his thing called? It starts with a B, I think. Oh man, it's a badass name. No. You better figure it out. I don't know the name. Figure it out.
I don't know the name.
Figure it out. It's a badass name. But they clash.
It does not start with a B unless they translated it. Mura Kumogiri.
Maybe it's the type of weapon it is that starts with a B. I don't know. It's still badass. That thing is clean. Thing is clean. It is considered one of the 12 supreme grade swords. For those that remember the sword classes, I kind of remember that. But anyways, Whitebeard and Shanks, they clash, and you get this whole panel spread of like the clouds, the heavens being split apart. I think that's the strongest blow we've seen in the series.
And doesn't this blow also knock out more of Whitebeard's crew? The clash. I don't know. Maybe
in the anime it does. In the manga, it's just the force. Yeah, it's just the force that when they clash, it sends it goes upward and it just splits the clouds. And everyone that's watching is like, Jesus. Someone says they split the clouds, and someone reiterates, no, they split the heavens. It's insane. These are endgame villains that are our characters are not yet ready for.
Oh hell no, they are not ready for this.
This is not someone that they can face off against. So from there you kind of transition. You get a sneak peek of, somewhere on the Grand Line on a certain island. You don't really get the name of the island yet, but Blackbeard is basically saying, hey, let's go capture the Straw Hats. their bounties went up, I think, and they came from Enies Lobby. Now's the time to go get them. And that's when you get the reveal that Ace has finally caught up with Blackbeard. And he's like, "Oi, mate, where you going?"
Why are you giving him that accent?
Because doesn't he have that in 4Kids? Or is that Shanks?
Ace? No, it's Shanks. Ace does not have an accent.
I've always given him an Australian accent. I don't know why.
No, it's only Shanks.
You know what? I'm keeping it. I like it.
Ew, do not.
Yes, I've always had given it's Shanks and Ace. I've always given Australian accents in my head. Like, yeah, they're Australian. Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Too late. But at that point we go back to Water 7. Granny Kokoro basically says, "Yeah, you guys are your next island is gonna be Fishman Island," which good joke. Their next island's Fishman Island. But she says, in order to get there, you got to get through the Florian Triangle, and a lot of ships end up getting lost in those waters. There are ghost ships that apparently sail through there. It's really spooky. You might not be able to make it out of there, but technically your next island should be Fishman Island. So you're going to Fishman Island next. The biggest joke in the series was said at that point, because we sure as hell know they never get to Fishman Island until like 300 chapters later or something.
It'll be a very long time coming. Correct.
A very long time. But it's at this point, again, members of the Franky family come in and bam, everyone gets a wanted poster. Significant change from where we were last time. Before it was only Luffy and Zoro.
Yes.
Oh, and
Robin.
Right.
Yes.
Right. I think Luffy always had a 300. No, he had a 100 million bounty. Zoro had like I think 80.
Zoro's was
something.
like yeah, maybe 80. Yeah.
It was something like that. I know Robin's was 79. Robin's was a
79. Yeah.
It was a number that for some reason never went up when she was a child. But so Luffy.
So yeah, Luffy's at 300,000. I'm sorry, 300 million. Zoro is now at
120.
120. Nami 16 million.
And they're given names. They're given
yes,
like
Nami the cat burglar.
Yes.
Cat burglar Nami. Soge King is given a bounty, not Usopp.
I love it.
For 30 million. Specifically for attacking Spandam and burning the flag.
Correct.
Sanji, who again?
Blackleg Sanji. 77 million for defeating Jabra, but no one can get a good picture of Sanji. You just got this doodle of this man. We don't know who that is.
And he's so upset by it. It's really funny.
The final one you get is
Cotton Candy Lover.
Chopa.
Tony Chopper. Cotton
50
Candy
berries.
50 berries.
Because he's the pet. They think he's the pet of the crew.
The disrespect. The
utter disrespect.
Franky gets a bounty too.
Oh yes, he does. He gets a 44 million bounty. That's
for
significant.
Beating Fukuro and burning the Pluton plans.
And beating Spandam some more again. And probably some of the stuff that resurfaced from his past life, because they thought he was dead since then.
True.
So it's probably a culmination of all that stuff. They're like, hey, put a bounty on this man. He needs to be stopped.
Right.
Robin's only goes up by 1 million. I don't know why.
He's at 80.
Yeah. Ooh. But it's all funny because Luffy and Zoro, they're like, yeah, that's what's up. That's right. We got the rank up. Nami's petrified because she has a bounty now. Now people are gonna be coming directly for her. You have Chopper just being devastated that he's only 50.
He worked so hard just for no recognition.
Pennies.
He worked so hard.
I mean, and then Sanji's just like, his face is just priceless. Let me see. Can you see Sanji here?
Yes,
You see,
yes.
right there. Right there. Oh, no, right there. I don't know. You
Yeah,
see
yeah.
him. He's devastated. Sanji's who is this?
And he also hates losing to Mosshead, Marimo.
Right, exactly. I think even Zoro pokes fun at him saying, they didn't even get your face right. Yo,
Right.
loser.
Oh yeah, he definitely
loser.
pokes fun. Definitely pokes fun.
It's beautiful. But because of course Cyborg Franky has a bounty now, that's when the Franky family comes in and they're like, Luffy, I mean, we love our Aniki, our big bro. Take this man out to sea with you because he's dead here. If he stays, he will die here. And doesn't he? He kind of agrees to it already, right? He's like, yeah. I mean, if he wants to, he could come on.
To my knowledge, I think it was not. I think they already had planned on him joining the crew, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It was just a matter of Franky had to come to them, I think.
Right, yeah. He was just like, all right, well, we're not going to go to him. He needs to come to us and say he wants to join. We're not going to force him.
What ends up happening? They have to pretend they hate him or something?
Well, so at first, when they get the reveal, when the Franky family makes the request to have the Straw Hats take Franky, the chapter kind of ends there and it kind of like jumps ahead a little bit to where they're all packing up and they're going to head out to the ship. And you get a little bit of a dialogue thing with Zoro and the rest of the crew.
Oh.
They're like, it's really quick. All he says is, all right, then, are we all on the same page about Usopp? And everyone's like, yep, we got it. So at this point, there was a conversation that went down. They talked about Usopp. You don't know what about, to what degree, but it was talked about.
This is a good little setup. It is great setup.
It is great setup. Oh, and this is a minor thing. Earlier before this, Sanji, I think, is like on his way when he's like coming back to like make the food. He walks by Usopp on like, the shoreline. And Usopp's like practicing his lines of how he's gonna come back into the crew. He's gonna be like, Luffy, you want me back? Geez, how pathetic, guys. And he thinks they're gonna beg him to come back after what happened on Eni's lobby. So that's what leads to the conversation that they have in the cabin with Zoro and everything. So Sanji saw what Usopp was doing. He was practicing on his lonesome, how he's gonna come back to the crew, and Sanji tells the crew what Usopp was doing. So we'll talk about that conversation later, what they have. But at this point, Franky family goes out to get Franky. The Straw Hats go out to the ship making yard. Well, not the ship making yard, but like the junkyard. The junkyard where Franky and his family dismantled ships, because there awaits their new ship, the Thousand Sunny.
The Thousand Sunny.
What did you think about the ship? Did you like it at first glance? Were you here for it, or were you like, oh man, going Mary, sad face?
No, I liked the Thousand Sunny because it served even in the appearance, it looks as a spiritual successor to the Going Merry. The Going Merry was the goat masthead. Here we have the lion, and it's like,
which they think is a flower at first.
They do. But it's like, the Going Merry was never necessarily looked at as a real pirate ship, but the masthead being the goat really, I feel signified that this is the Straw Hats. They're fun. They're carefree. They're just here for adventure. And I think the Mary captured that on its initial appearance, and I was fine with it. The name probably took a while to get more used to.
Thousand Sunny.
Yes, just because it was like the Going Mary, the Thousand Sunny. I was like, okay, whatever. But the look itself, I think Franky nailed the kind of spiritual successor.
Easily. I mean, this ship is easily it dwarfs the size of the Going Mary. It's
right.
It's way bigger.
It's huge. It's ginormous.
And it's great because it feels like a proper ship. And Luffy and the gang, they want to thank, Franky properly, but that's when you get the reveal that Iceberg did not want to meet Luffy to get his thanks about building the ship because he has a fear that if he's there when he gets that thanks, he's going to want to join the crew. And Franky doesn't want to do that because he feels he still has this guilt and this debt that he owes to Tom, to Iceberg, just everything that's happened on Water 7. Franky does not want to leave the island. And then that's kind of like what you were alluding to earlier where, the Franky family tries to convince Franky to be like, hey, you should go with the Straw Hats. It's dangerous here. We'll be okay. Don't worry about us. Franky's like, nope, I'm not leaving. And I think they steal his underwear.
They do steal his underwear, right?
They steal his underwear, and that's what starts the grand chase throughout Water 7. You have Franky running around with his junk flopping around in the wind, and he's chasing down these guys to give him back his underwear. Everyone in the town is calling him a pervert. It's super weird. And they eventually, well, I think Luffy leaves the ship at that point, and he kind of helps the Franky family like take the underwear, and he's like, all right, pass me the underwear. I'm gonna run to the ship now. So they run to the ship, and it's all silliness. Luffy gets on the ship, and he makes that proposal to Franky saying, if you want your underwear back, come onto the ship, join my crew. And this scene was always weird and just bothered me.
It's weird.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm gonna get
with
to?
Robin?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I mean,
I never understood. This was unnecessary.
I mean, yes, she uses her Hana fruit and grabs his nuts and starts squeezing them. Which again, I'm like Team Robin and Franky. You ship them? I do ship them. I do. This is like part of it.
A dominatrix
I don't know what this was. I really don't know what this was, but
they are the closest in age.
They are
characters.
So what? She grabs it and he's crying, and the real tears start to come out as far as, he doesn't want to leave, or it's hard for him to say goodbye and whatnot. And then it's revealed that she only grabbed it like for a second, and so he was actually really crying because he's saying goodbye to the family, to Iceberg, to Gallilaw. And
right.
Honestly, I think he's like kind of overjoyed because he's kind of living out the dream that Tom kind of set him on the path for.
Right.
So yeah, Robin's like, oh yeah, I only grabbed it for like a second.
I mean, she touched them, and she like, I don't. Oh my God,
Robin and Franky, man. Robin and Franky,
and don't give me that BS that like, oh, it's the double fruit hands that grabbed it. No,
Robin feels those. Robin feels that.
Yes.
Okay,
she
right.
Feels them. Oh man, Robin. So the nut grabbing was a pivotal moment in this scene. And again, Iceberg tells Franky, you have to forgive yourself, and the Franky family, in a tearful farewell, tell him, think about your happiness for a change. You're always worrying about Iceberg or Tom or us. What about yours? Your feelings matter too in all of this. And you get some flashbacks into some of the members that he recruited, like the I don't know the guy's name, but the guy that's always like the figurehead of the Franky family, the guy with the fishnets.
Oh,
I don't remember his name.
It's like with a Z. Don't even worry about it.
No. We gotta confirm this. He might appear later in Raftel.
I mean, he's got a name. It's like Zombie or something.
Oh, I think it is Zombie. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Zombie.
But yeah, you get some flashbacks on how Franky recruited them throughout the years. Same with the twins. The Franky family is an actual family.
Yes.
And at that point, I think, he just asked the question. He's like, dude, can you guys really live without me? Because he just wants that final reassurance that if he leaves, his family is gonna be okay. And they say, yeah, man, we'll be okay. Go off on your adventure. Live the dream of your dreams on your ship of dreams, the Thousand Sunny. It's like poetry.
Right.
It rhymes.
Well, I guess, it's also nice because, Tom did not go with the Oro Jackson. And he wasn't able to see all that his ship did.
Right.
So, here you have Franky. He's going to be a part of his ship and its journey. So it's nice.
It is. It's beautiful. And Franky's like, all right, you got a ship right. Franky! And Franky joins the Straw Hats officially as their 8th crew member, right?
Well, currently he's their 7th crew member.
Currently their 7th. Yeah, the married. Oh, well, no. Right.
No,
Usopp.
because Usopp is not part of the crew right now.
Usopp's not part of the crew. So he goes off onto the Mary, and the chapter pretty much ends. I'm sorry, not the Mary, the Thousand Sunny. And at that point, that's when we get the reveal of a flashback about the conversation that was had about Usopp. This is, again, I love this, man. I don't know. Do you want to take this one?
Okay, I mean, I'll try my best. So what you have here.
I mean, Sanji tells them about, he saw Usopp practicing.
And at first, everyone is overjoyed about Usopp wanting to return.
Let's go get him.
Right, they're really eager to get him back. And they are stopped in their tracks by Zoro. And Zoro really kind of puts it bluntly. He's like, Usopp blatantly disrespected our captain. And, it led to the confrontation. And what happened. And he's like, for our captain to go seek Usopp back is completely wrong, because Usopp is the one who disrespected Luffy. Usopp was in the wrong for going against your captain. So if Luffy goes and wants and offers him a spot back, that's basically making a mockery of everything they're doing.
What does that say about our captain and us as pirates?
Right. Can anybody just willy-nilly leave the crew at any time they have a grievance, or
and just be welcomed back open arms without without the issue being addressed?
Right. Zoro basically says there has to be consequences for Usopp's actions, and we can't just allow him to come back. And he basically lays down the ultimatum. He's like, if you welcome Usopp back, and before he begs to come back, I'm done. I'm out.
I'm gonna be the next one to leave. That's insane. This is your first mate. You're second in command. He's threatening to leave because he tells Luffy, I really don't care about anything stupid that you do, because you do a lot of stupid shit all the time. But this is something serious. If you let Usopp back on without him at least apologizing or at least addressing what he did, I'm next. I'm leaving next. Like, say goodbye to me too. And again, Zoro, it sounds cold from Zoro at right now, because it's like it's almost as if he doesn't want Usopp back. But he reaffirms, he's like, listen, it's fine that he wants to come back. I'm okay with Usopp coming back onto the crew, but he needs to come onto the crew without any BS, no sneaking on, weaseling his way in without addressing the issue. This man needs to apologize for what he did.
And again, I think this is one of another top 5 moments for Zoro, to be honest, because again, you don't really get much from Zoro, but I said this last time when we talked about, I think it was the Usopp fight, Usopp versus Luffy.
It is.
Zoro offers perspective, and he lays it blunt, and he lays it out for the people to really understand what is going on here. You know, we're not playing pirates.
Yes.
Now he says it. We're not playing pirates. So after this, I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but he's right. And everybody agrees that he's right.
100%. Sanji, his one rival, is on the same page with him. He's like, hey, Moosehead is right. We can't let Usopp back on the crew. You know what I'm saying?
Terrible.
That's his accent.
I get it. I get it. But it's still bad. But yeah, it's great. And they literally said, we're going to leave him here on Water 7 until he apologizes. So here they are. They're now on the Sunny. Usopp has still not come to apologize. And
start sailing. They lift anchor and they're sailing away. Well, because the Navy,
Garp said he wasn't going to chase them, or he said he was going to give them like a head start or something. But
he said he wasn't going to chase them. I'm not here to capture you.
And then he gets the call saying, you're on the same island.
From Sengoku.
He's like, you better go get him, Garp.
But he's my grandson. I don't care. Get him.
And so Garp is over here like, Luffy, sorry about this. I have orders. He's his own cannon. He's literally chucking these things like they're a freaking baseball. And they're hitting. They're making it to the Sunny. They have to literally defend. Everybody's out here defending Garp's cannonballs.
Easily, because that's gonna do damage to the Sunny for sure.
And I think this is a funny sequence. So everybody at Water 7 is watching this happen, and then Usopp just kind of walks up. They're like, Long Nose, what are you doing here?
They know.
They know. I mean, they're like, they left, man, and we thought you were on board. And so then Usopp tries to, he runs down there, and this is where we get, hey guys, you forgot about me. And he's like, very funny. I get it, the joke.
Rejoice, your captain's back. I have returned.
And meanwhile, Chopper, I think, sees him and like, look, there's Usopp. And they can hear Usopp. They are ignoring Usopp.
Yes. Chopper's telling them, look, Usopp's here. And Luffy's like, I don't hear anything.
Right.
Neither does Zoro. I don't hear anything. I think it's important that those two characters said it, because everyone else is not just gonna be that mean to Usopp. I mean, not necessarily mean, but stern in that way. Luffy has to do that. So does Zoro. Zoro has to do that as well. I feel like if he went up, I mean, maybe the anime does it, but they only show Luffy and Zoro saying, I don't hear anything. I'm curious as to what would have happened if he went up to maybe Nami saying, Nami, look, Usopp, if she would have said, I don't hear anything.
That's essentially what happened. Everybody else is kind of waiting in suspense because they really want Usopp to apologize, you know? So they're waiting, but yes, you do see Luffy and Zoro basically say, I didn't hear anything. And Usopp realizes they're leaving and they're not
Goodbye.
stopping. And he starts tearing up, and then he just goes, "I'm sorry." And he's crying. He's like, "I was wrong. I'm sorry for my stubbornness." And I think, what does he say? "Please take me back with you," right?
He says, "I know I already quit. I know I'm being pathetic, but can I take back what I said? Let me take it back. I want to be with you guys one more time. I want to go on more adventures." And he's at this point, this is probably the most ugly cry that Oda's ever given anyone. This dude is bawling his snot and tears. I think in your background, it's kind of that.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah.
He just wants to come back, and from there you hear a stretchy noise. You hear the stretch. You see a hand right there. Just
you also see everybody smile. Like everybody's like, he did it.
This is what we needed. This is all we needed.
The stretch, like you said, and Luffy is also ugly crying. "You idiot! Hurry up and grab on!"
Oh man, you can't tell me this is not the best arc in all of One Piece. It is. Oh my goodness, this was fantastic.
It is truly something special. It was beautiful. Again, it's everything comes full circle, and it's a lesson that needed to be taught to the crew.
Right. We're in this together.
Well, Water 7 was just, kind of, we're all in this together, but also remember, piracy does have some rules we need to abide by if we're going to be a proper crew, which we are becoming. We are now like a big threat to the government right now. We're not playing anymore. We need to, Luffy is our captain. We have to follow his lead. You may disagree, and you can speak your disagreement, but you cannot keep letting that be the reason why you leave and come back to the crew. Swallow up your disagreement and keep it moving. But
Right. No, exactly. It's that's the rules that needed to be set in stone. And again, we've said it before in previous episodes. Water 7 was in a way kind of like the transition from innocence into adulthood. And we see that, through the going merry, having to be left behind, the whole ordeal with the crew and everything that they went through. This was a significant point in the story where there's no more games.
No more games.
Just declared war against the government. It's gonna get worse from here on out. We're grown. We're grown now.
There's no turning back now.
There's no turning back. I love this. This is just fantastic.
Oh no, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And obviously everyone's happy. They're happy. They're all together again. They got a new shipwright. They got a new ship. They got Usopp back.
They saved Robin.
And they're making their escape. Now obviously, there's still the problem with Garp. Garp is not one to be scoffed at. He's trying everything in his power to sink that damn ship.
He's really trying. He's really trying.
Luffy's telling, he calls out to Garp, Helmeppo, and Kobe saying, "Hey, we're gonna get serious and running away now. Hope to see you guys again someday." Obviously, Kobe sees that as, "Oh yeah, Luffy, okay, we'll meet again." Garp, on the other hand, is like, "Who the hell you think you're leaving?
How dare you?"
How dare you?
I'm your grandpa.
I'm your grandpa. I think at that point, that's when he brings out like the giant cannonball, right? It's like
something like that.
It's like a giant ball, and it's tied to like a chain or something. And he just flings this at them. He's like, I'm gonna kill you guys if I have to. I'm sinking that damn ship. But then of course you get a testament to how powerful, how much of an upgrade the Thousand Sunny is compared to the Going Merry, because Going Merry in this scenario ain't escaping. There's no way Going Merry's leaving this scenario right here.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh my gosh, I pulled it up. It's not only attached to a chain. Yeah. This ball is like bigger than the ship.
It's bigger. Oh yes, right. It is. It's ginormous. It is huge. He flings this thing.
Fucking throws it.
That would have killed them. I don't care. That would have straight up killed them. But yeah, Franky reveals one of the, the techniques of the Thousand Sunny, the coup de burst, and then bam, the Thousand Sunny goes a flying, and this is a signature move that they use a lot to escape near capture, near death. I mean, you see this still to this day in One Piece. They use this a lot. It's a very, very unique way of escaping. Goodness, you can close some distance with a move like that. It's a sudden burst of speed.
Testament to Franky's ingenuity.
That's what it is.
It's cola power.
Oh my god, I hate that fuel source.
It's
cola. I need more cola.
This is basically shaking up a soda bottle and releasing it.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure times 1,000.
Yeah, that is, what? I never considered that. That makes sense. Yeah, it is cola. And they make it away. Garp laughs it off, saying, well, that's my grandson.
Right. He's like, not bad, kiddo.
Not bad. I almost killed you. I could have killed you. Thank God you had that on your ship. But at that point, Galley-Law continues their work. They got a lot of work to do in rebuilding Water 7 again. And that closes out Water 7. The camera kind of pans away at that point. You get some, quick, check-ins with some characters. Like you check in with Smoker and Tashigi. Basically just, recognizing that, hey, the Straw Hats are ranking up. They attacked Eni's lobby. And pirates all over the world are gonna look at them as heroes. And you get this line from Smoker where it's like, yeah, this aged like milk. He says, I will put my pride on the line and follow them to the new world and crush them.
I mean, he does, just not as prominent, I guess, as he's making it sound like right now.
Crushes them in the new world?
No, but like I'm talking about following. He doesn't really follow them. He only catches up with them once.
Yeah, he catches up with them once, kind of gets forgotten about. He doesn't crush them. He doesn't do it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Smoker's purpose as like a rival, like a Navy Marine rival to Luffy, is now all but abandoned. Like in later One Piece, I think the introduction of Kobe kind of took that away a little bit in some ways. Like now you have, or I guess maybe Kobe you can see as like the little brother that you want to see succeed rather than the rival, right? So he's more like the Konohamaru. Right?
I mean, it's fine. Smoker, again, I like Smoker because again, he's actually a good Marine. Right. Like he's just in what he does. And I'm fine with whatever he's saying, him not following through.
Right. And again, it's only a couple panels. It's nothing too big. You also get some insight into Alabasta with Vivi and Cobra. They notice that Nico Robin, aka Miss All Sunday, is on their ship. They're like, what the hell is going on there? So
was the whole fan base when that happened. When that happened, the whole fan base was like, what? What is this?
What is it? What's going on? And Vivi's like, hey, if Luffy let her on the crew, there's probably a good reason why. So right. I trust them. He will become the king of the pirates. The Straw Hats, give 3 cheers with ale with their shipmates. Next stop, Fishman Island, baby. That's the next arc we're covering. Fishman Island. That's where they're heading to next. Clearly. And okay, I guess you get some extra stuff. You get some, Zeph, proud of
Stop
Sonic.
worrying about that stuff. Yes, everybody checks
Are
in.
you kidding me? Don't
they're
you
all
dare.
Laughing. They're all
Don't you
laughing.
dare.
They're like, ha ha ha, Sanji's got a terrible wanted poster.
Yes, good. We got that. That's good.
You get Kureha, they see Chopper. Everybody
Good.
checks in on their people.
You better check in with the rest of them. Who else?
Nami and like Genzo and her sister like enlarge Nami's wanted poster.
Yes, they make like a
yes.
mural or I don't know, something weird.
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird.
You also get Fuchsia Village. Fuchsia. Luffy's hometown. I always forget the old man's name and the bartender's name, but
yes,
they're there. They're like, oh, good job. Well, the bartender's like, yeah, good job, Luffy. Old man's like, damn, these kids back in my day, we didn't do piracy.
Does he mention Dedan right here? Like Dedan's not gonna like this?
Yes, he does. He says, look at that, you wanted to skip this. He says, yeah, what is Garb doing about this? If he hadn't left his grandson alone on this island, this would have never happened. That family has been crazy for the last 3 generations. Does Dedan know about this? You get a name drop of a character that will come back much later in the story. So that's cool. I like that. You also get, who else? Who else are we missing? I know who.
I don't recall. I really don't recall.
Kaya from Syrup Village.
Right. And she's like, I recognize that nose anywhere. It's definitely funny. And I think the Usopp pirates are like, that's definitely our captain.
Indeed it is. That's their captain. And she goes back to her medical studies. Whoopee. You also get one more person. Come on. Who haven't we talked about? Come on. Who haven't we talked about?
I said Kureha.
No, there's one more person.
Shanks? I don't know. Oh, is it Dragon?
The Straw Hats from the wherever they came
Zoro's
from.
guy?
Yeah,
Zoro's master?
His master.
Okay.
Everyone wants to be like Zoro now, all the students. They're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Nice. I want to be a swordsman like that. And yeah, that's all the catch up, I think. Kureha. And that's pretty much it. And then finally, of course, we get the dragon on some island. We don't know, goodness, where it even is. But he sees the wanted posters. He recognizes that his son Luffy is making a name for himself. And he basically says, one day we're going to meet. We're going to meet, son. And I guess they will at some point. It has to happen, but
one day, yeah, it's going to happen.
One day. I mean, we need exposition dump on this guy immediately because there's just so much going on with him.
So much that we don't know. And we'll, you know what? We will close it off with this final portion of the manga volume because it's still considered a part of volume 45. Ace catches up with Blackbeard, like we mentioned earlier. And they start their battle, right? And at first you think Ace has the win in the bag because it's Ace. He's the cool older brother of Luffy, and he has the flare. Flame. Mirror. Is it flare? I don't know. Mirror no me. How about that?
Yeah, that's Japanese name.
Yeah, he's cool. And then also, it's just Blackbeard. What's his deal?
Yeah, like as GrandMasterHoop calls it, they're all ugly.
They are all ugly. So therefore, they can't possibly be powerful.
That clearly they're not. I mean, well, Burgess can lift a house. I mean, that's a feat. That's strong. He's powerful. You got the sniper there. And you have Blackbeard's crewmates initiating the combat, but Blackbeard tells them, guys, you need to stop. Listen, I know I was talking a big game, but this is Ace, okay? This is Fire Feast Ace. This is a big deal.
He's the second division commander for a reason.
Exactly. So you get Ace kind of, going easy on them a little bit. It doesn't look like he's struggling too much. He burns up Blackbeard quite a bit. And that's when we get a little bit of a lore drop as to the backstory with Blackbeard. Please tell me you know Blackbeard's laugh.
Hold up.
Don't you dare. Yes.
Something like that.
It's literally exactly like that. You gotta have the Z, and then the rest is your normal generic laugh. I love it. Iconic laugh.
Yes, it's pretty good. Okay, I literally looked it up on YouTube, and it literally says like they put the Z in front.
That's there. That's how he does it, and you cannot change it.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's good. It's good.
So Blackbeard is basically telling Ace, yes, damn right, I did kill I killed Thatch, who was the
4th Division commander.
The 4th Division commander. And he reveals why. He got the devil fruit I was looking for.
Which is also the whole reason why he joined Whitebeard's crew.
The whole reason, because he realized, this is a chance for me to get close to potentially uncovering that devil fruit. Whitebeard is, quite honestly, like you said earlier, he's the strongest man in the world. Therefore, he commands the strongest pirate crew in the world. This is the closest I'm ever going to get to finding that fruit. And like he said, according to the rules, the one who finds the devil fruit is the one that's able to eat it. And Whitebeard says, I memorized all the shapes of devil fruits in the identification manual. As soon as I saw Thatch with that devil fruit, his fate was sealed, baby. I was killing him. Like, that fruit was mine. And that was the whole reason he was on Whitebeard's crew. And at that point, he ate it, left, and he says, listen, Ace, I'm the strongest in the world. This is a rarity even among Logia types. You may be made of fire, Ace, but I am made of darkness. Ooh. You didn't lose it. What's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you?
It was a weird time where I did not watch this sequentially, and I was informed of this fight well before I was like back into watching One Piece sequentially. So I had looked up the fight before.
Wow.
So I was right. It was like it was the era of AMVs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The AMVs would show clips of scenes you've never seen before.
And completely out of context. So
right.
I definitely saw
That's
this and
fair.
had no idea where it fit in the One Piece timeline. And they skip over the dialogue. So
right. Yeah. It's just the action. That
right.
You're there
So
for.
I knew he had the Yami Yami no Mi. Just, so it's still very cool. And I will say on my rewatch, I didn't realize it cancels out devil fruits, or
well, there is something with that. However, I think we're gonna leave that.
Oh, we're gonna leave it.
We're gonna leave it because this right here, this battle sequence, we may be here for another 30 minutes talking about this, because this is very important.
Sure.
This battle sequence. But I guess to answer your no, you know what? Cliffhanger. We'll leave it on a cliffhanger.
Sure. Sure.
There is an answer to that, and I know the answer right now, but I think it'll be more exciting to pick it up off from next week's One Piece Chronicles. And technically, volume 45, which was this entire epilogue of Water 7, the darkness thing where he tells Ace, I am darkness, that is the last page that this volume ends on. And that's it.
All right, it's fine. Stopping point right there.
So we will pick up on that next week. It'll be our, I guess, part 1 for Thriller Bark. I don't know how we're splitting up Thriller Bark at this point, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to it.
We'll see.
Final thoughts on Water 7 as a whole. This includes obviously Water 7, but any slobby and the post, the epilogue of the saga. I'm telling you right now, this is the best saga in all of One Piece. Not one of the best. It is the best. Because you have dynamics with the crew that, to be honest, I feel like they can't replicate again. Because at this point, we're in the final saga of One Piece, where it currently is right now. And you really cannot have a significant growth for the crew like the way you had it here. Because this was like kind of not the midway point, but it was like in the middle of the story, right? You could have it here. You should have it here. You can't have that at the end. I can't see that happening at all towards the end. The reveals, the fights, the stakes, the way the name of a One Piece changed forever. This volume by itself. Do you want to do a quick recap of the bombs that were dropped in this? Real quick. Garp. Relationship to Luffy as his grandfather.
The monkey family.
The monkey family. 4 emperors of the sea. The new world. The return of Helmeppo and Kobe, confirming that you could see any character that you've interacted with in One Piece at any point. Doesn't matter how long it was ago or if it was the last chapter, you may see them again. Monkey D. Dragon, the Revolutionary Army, the material of the Thousand Sunny, the apology from Usopp. If you type in on YouTube, if you type in One Piece Usopp, it's gonna auto correct. It's gonna auto fill Usopp's apology because the algorithm knows. The YouTube algorithm knows what you're looking for when it comes to Usopp and One Piece. To me, this is the best. I'm again not knocking any future arcs that we get into. Maybe my mind might change. I don't know. But Marineford and Wano, which are generally the go-to arcs that people go to as this is the best arc in all of One Piece, those got nothing on what was done in Water 7 in terms of thematic storytelling and the way it expanded the world and mythos of One Piece. You ain't getting that again. Maybe the ending. I don't know. Maybe the ending of One Piece might blow my socks off and something crazy will happen. I don't know. Nothing ain't coming close to this. Nothing. You got my take. You already knew that was my take from the beginning. Go on. Tell me final thoughts on the epilogue or Water 7 as a whole.
I mean, I feel you said it best.
Oh, do you agree?
I mean, yes, I already said this. I think as a saga, this whole saga is, excluding Foxy Pirates, this whole saga is phenomenal. Foxy Pirates is in the Water 7 saga.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, it just hits on so many levels. It really does feel like a phase ending. I said it felt like an ending of a phase 1 of One Piece. I think when you get to the end of this saga,
your favorite MCU.
I just feel it. If One Piece is
I think
never
it's a good
the
comparison.
same.
I think it's a good comparison.
I just feel it's never the same after this saga.
It's not.
And you know that's in terms of just where the story's going, thematically where it's gone, but you just have a really good saga that features the whole crew. Everybody gets a moment.
Everyone. No one skips out. Every single one.
And again, I said Water 7 juggled so much. Robin, the Mary, Usopp, Franky, and it nails it. It does it flawlessly. Like nothing ever feels out of place. Nothing ever feels like it's slacking. It's perfectly balanced. And then so much world building happens, like you said, at the end of this saga, that it really does feel like it's just like an epilogue to where it's like, all right, what's next? The new phase. One Piece is never the same. And I think this is quintessential in the One Piece lore. And it is unrivaled. I would call it unrivaled.
Ooh. In other words, it's the best.
Yes, it's the best.
Ooh,
Yes.
ooh, interesting. You heard it here first on the Yonkō
It's not
Table,
that deep.
everyone.
It's the best. It's not that deep.
I mean, hey, we've done this for 5 parts, literally 5 weeks, and we butted heads with, you know, fellow supernovas alike. Some of them, you know, don't agree that this is the best saga in all of One Piece. That's their incorrect opinion, but no, I agree. This is the best. And again, I said it before, it's very easy to confuse hype with quality. I feel like anything else you try and compare Water 7 to, when you say, yeah, but this happened in this part, and then this happened in Wano, and this happened in you know, this devil fruit was done. All of that is just hype. I can literally give you a breakdown. I could give you a dissection, a dissertation of why it's just hype. This is quality right here. How many parts? All 14 parts of Water 7 is quality. Nothing rivals it. I'm sorry. It doesn't. But yeah, 5 parts for Water 7. Now you all know why we took so long. And goodness, I thought this was gonna be one of our shorter ones because it was the epilogue, but look at us. Look at us spending all
you,
this quality.
Mister. You over here geeking out the whole
Quality.
time. I'm over here. I'm Zoro. I'm reeling you back. But
Listen,
yes, there was a lot
we
to dissect here.
We don't skip anything on these chronicles. If it takes us 5 hours, then damn it, it'll take us 5 hours.
Oh boy.
But 5 parts, we'll see how our future arcs and sagas go. You know, I imagine Marineford might take a couple parts. Maybe Thriller Bark. Maybe
Thriller Bark should not take that long.
2 parts? Maybe. I don't know.
2
We'll
parts
see.
at best.
Yeah, we'll see. Thriller Bark's not that long of an arc, so it really should not take that long. But yeah, there you have it, folks. Our grand finale to our Water 7 saga One Piece Chronicles special. Let us know what you all think about One Piece and specifically the Water 7 saga. Where does this saga rank amongst your tier list of sagas in all of One Piece? I know some people don't like to compare sagas because every saga is great in its own way. But let's be honest, this one's at the top. Just let's skip the foreplay and the semantic. This is at the top. This is at the top right here. Water 7, baby. I'm done trying to convince you. Let us know what you all think in the comments below, wherever you're listening to us on, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at the Yonkō Table. And if you want to join the discourse, check out our Discord, because I'm sure once this episode releases, we're probably going to be butting heads with some other members saying that this is not the best arc in all of One Piece. Oh, it's Wano because devil fruits. Ooh. Hype is not quality. Hype is not quality.
You could not tell me the main focal points of the Wano arc versus everybody knows the quintessential moments in all of Water 7.
If you tell me if you show me someone that can tell you the focal points of all of Wano, I can also show you a liar. I can also show you a liar. Goodness me. But there you have it, folks. Yonkō Table closing out part 5, the grand finale of Water 7. Tune in next time for our first foray into Thriller Bark. A controversial arc for many, but you'll have to wait till next time to hear our thoughts on that. I'm your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō Grandmaster Hoop, signing off, and take care.